and welcome back to another Eto, what is it, spoiler cast catch-up.
Close enough, that'll do. I'm Josh.
I'm Will. It's only been a week off. We've done pretty well this year. But we're back this week to talk all things Birds of Prey.
Yes.
And the Fantabulous Emancipations of one Harley Quinn.
That's the one, man. What a freaking name. Or as it's apparently known now, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yeah. It's not entirely clear if that's just to shorten it for cinemas so that it's not that awkward thing that gets cut off on the screen when you go and look at cinema times.
Yeah.
Or whether it's like something else.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of like, it didn't do well opening weekend, so they're changing the name so that it's a focus on Harley Quinn and that will hopefully get people through the door. So that's kind of a rumor that I'm hearing online as well.
Yeah. I very highly doubt that for lots of reasons, but, you know, maybe it's a thing. Also, the film is done significantly well. It's being touted as being a failure and stuff, but for a film that is R-rated in the US, it's actually done incredibly well. It's just being compared to Joker, which just did insanely well last year. So it's doing fine. Just calm down, internet. It got $4 million over the weekend in Australia, which is huge. So
yeah,
I think it's fine.
I've been hearing pretty good things about it in general.
Yeah. Critically, it's doing well.
What did you think?
I thought it was almost really good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Almost, it's like the first act and the third act are great. The second, just the middle part of the film, just gets lost a little bit.
Okay.
Is probably my main thing.
Yeah, cool.
What about you?
I'm like much the same, really. Like, it was super entertaining.
Yeah.
Just a little bit messy. Parts of it were a little bit dumb and stuff that I just didn't like.
Yeah.
I looked at it and kind of laughed in a scornful way. That's probably not
a choice word.
Not the right way to put it. Yeah, just like kind of going, that's bad. It was just a bad thing, which we'll get to eventually. I just didn't want to spoil it, and so that made whatever sentence I was just trying to say very scornful.
Again, this is a spoiler cast. If you haven't seen the film, you know, just go see it. It's not that long as well, which is really, really good. I think it's just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. It is the right length for a film, but yeah, as we'll get to, there's some strange choices in it. But this will be full of spoilers.
Yes, definitely. So, how about the plot? Do we want to discuss the plot?
Look, in a basic sense, and I don't like this comparison. A lot of people have been drawing it up. I don't think it's as similar. It's like Force Awakens and New Hope, where it's like you forced it to be similar. It's very Deadpool in its structure, having it start from a different point, go back a bit, then continue forth, then go back a bit and give you a little bit more. It didn't work. Yeah,
I feel like they spent too much time when they were going back and forth.
Yes.
Basically, we have like a bunch of backstory for different parts of the throughout the film. Harley Quinn will stop and be like, wait a second, I've got to explain this. And they jump back, but they jump back for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is too long. And then it comes back and you're like, where are we? What are we? Oh, right. We're like back 20 minutes ago. It's just too much.
It's also almost always the same scene, which is fine to do, but the problem is that, we spend 20 minutes seeing or hearing things we already know, and then right at the end it's something new, and it's like, okay, that's the cool new information, and then we're back to the future. And it's just not the way you do those things.
Yeah.
It just failed dramatically. I liked the idea of it, because Harley Quinn is just an unreliable narrator. Which is a fun thing, because similar to Deadpool, she's insane. But I don't think it was used to its full effect.
Yeah, it's like she's getting lost in her own mind trying to recall the parts of the story itself.
Plot-wise, okay, what I would want this and would describe this film to be, if it was perfect, would be Harley Quinn has broken up with the Joker, and the entire crime syndicate is after her now because now she's no longer the Joker's property.
Yes.
That's not what the film is about. Unfortunately, for some reason it isn't. Like, that seems like an awesome film to make. Instead, it's that kind of story plus a MacGuffin diamond that everyone else is also after, as well as Harley Quinn. And that diamond somehow ties together with 3 members of the Birds of Prey. But there's also this other character that swallowed the diamond that's now important to Harley Quinn and wants... It's so messy. It's so unnecessarily messy.
Yeah, there's a little bit too much. Like, in saying this, the movie is very fun the whole time.
Yeah.
Like...
It's got a great tone.
Yeah.
It's just... It's definitely standing back and seeing what the plot is.
Yeah.
You suddenly go, oh, okay.
Just plot-wise, yeah, a little bit everywhere. So just clarifying that we did mostly enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
But when you think about it later, it's like, ugh, there's too much happening.
The biggest problem with this film and all of DC's films is they're all team-up films. There is only 2 movies that have one hero in it, and it's Man of Steel and Aquaman. Every other film has a hero, at least 2 heroes, and at least 2 storylines with those heroes. Even Aquaman has 2 main villains. There's just too much stuff in DC films.
Yeah.
And it's... I just can't believe they're still playing catch-up to the idea of, like, team-ups after Batman vs. Superman. Surely that was the film they went, okay, too much, too fast. Okay, let's take it down a peg. But no, they've still done another film that introduces 4 new characters.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
It's so ridiculous.
But speaking of those 4 characters, did you like them? Obviously, we'll get back to Harley Quinn, but we know about her. Did you like the members of the Birds of Prey and Cassie Kane?
Mostly. They were mostly fine.
Fine is the word.
Yeah. The Black Canary was great. I really liked her. I thought she was really, really good. The one thing that I didn't like about her, which is the one thing that I kind of scoffed at in the movie, was her like canary voice thing. That was weird and just looked weird. And
that's interesting. I've seen a lot of those. That was my favorite part of the whole film.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest bit of the entire film. I was like in my seat going, come on, do it. And then when it did it, I was like, oh my God, amazing. And I just love that scene a lot.
Interesting. Yeah. Cause I don't know. It seemed very strange. Like, I know she's got that thing. I know she's got, well, I didn't realize that was a power. Because I guess in the TV shows, it's a little device on her neck. So I just assumed it was that. I didn't realize that was actually a power thing. But I think the thing that I thought was really dumb was she did that, and then Harley Quinn skated into it to push herself along.
Oh, that was my favorite. That was my favorite.
No,
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was the cleverest thing in the whole film.
I didn't like that at all. I thought that was really dumb.
Oh, that's so sad. Because that's like, from that point on till what they did with Black Mask, that was like my favorite portion of the film. Because it's like she's skating, and then Huntress comes on in the motorcycle, and it's like this, all the components come together except for the cop, because she's kind of irrelevant the entire time, but whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, I love that, because that was the epitome of how you do a team-up, like, all the powers coming together.
Yeah, I liked it from there. Like, from the skating and all of that.
Yeah.
But, oh man, just the voice thing, I don't know, the effect just looked weird.
Yeah, okay.
And her skating into it, I don't know, there was a bit of that. There was a bit of giggling in the film, and the person I saw it with was kind of like, that's a bit weird.
My one of like 10 people cheered. So that's interesting.
Yeah, right. It's so bizarre. The cop...
When you have to consistently say, oh, listen, she's saying another generic line, it's like, well, then just don't write it like that.
Yeah.
Don't keep reminding us that you've written a bad character.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah, that was it was very strange. I don't, her motives were pretty weak as well. The whole thing was just very strange. Very, really trying to hammer home, this is a woman
that's struggling to be a powerful person.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit ham-fisted there.
Clearly they've gone for that to be Oracle for now as well. Like, she's the one that's going to be in the Watchtower giving the people in the field information.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's true.
Because otherwise, I don't... obviously she's in that little bit at the end, but I just... yeah, she is just a bit older than I would expect for a person to be in the field with the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, definitely.
It was surprising.
Is that character, I am unaware of that character's name.
I've definitely heard her name in comics.
Okay.
And I think, as with almost everyone except for Huntress, she's visually very different in the comics. So I don't recognize her, but I recognize the name.
Sure.
I'm sure she's the thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of Huntress, the only character that was like almost 1-to-1 with her comic counterpart, which was cool.
I also found her a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
She was great, but I think I can reconcile the reason why she's like this, but she's very awkward when she actually is like, when she has more than one line in a scene. When she's talking, she's like, she just seems very oblivious and very awkward, like she's got social, like, conversational problems.
Well, if your whole entire family were murdered in front of you, you probably wouldn't be the best.
Yeah, that's how I'm like reconciling that, but she's not like that in the comics. She's very badass.
See, that's their like real world translation of dark and brooding in the fact that people can't actually be dark and brooding, so they've made it that she can't be. That's stupid, so she keeps trying to be, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it was just very weird because the whole lead up to that, like she seemed so badass because she didn't have many lines. And then they kind of played around with the fact that like she wanted to be called the Huntress, but everyone was calling her the Crossbow Killer. So that was like fun and playful, but then she just seemed kind of awkward, and that was just very strange. But then she, like, all of her action parts were very cool and badass still.
Man, that shot of her sliding down and then she stops herself in the slide and jumps on top of the dude and then slides down the slide and just starts stabbing him.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, like, she was awesome.
Yeah.
But then there were just, like, confusing parts in there that I'm like, this is... it was, like, just kind of jarring between the two.
I really liked it, but I think it's another one of the things this film tries to do. It's got a bit of Deadpool. It also tries to be a Tarantino film in some of the way that the characters play, where they're just really weird to watch and like hyper stylized versions, but not everyone is doing that. So like Huntress comparatively to like Canary, they're from different movies. So when they're on screen together, it's hard to watch. But if everyone was really awkward like Huntress, if everyone was playing like this hyper weird naturalistic dialogue, it would be fine. But she's just so glaringly different in like her portrayal. So it's just a bit odd. Yeah.
Like, every character in this feels like they're from a different movie. But somehow it sort of worked?
Yeah, every time it almost works. Like, the scene at the very end when they're all together in the cafe is, like... It's the thing a lot of films do, where it's like they leave you in a really happy mindset so you forget most of the things that have happened. Just the way they all were in that cafe... the way they were being the characters, it's like, sick, that's right, they were all good.
Yeah.
Like, they all worked together well. Because I think they also softened Huntress a bit in that as well. She's a bit less awkward.
Yeah. It's like she's sort of found her place now, and she's working out how to be a human again, because her whole family was murdered, and she's been trained as a murderer for, like, 20 years.
Wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. But speaking of murderers, we got two in this one, and... forgotten his name now.
Zaz? Victor Zaz?
Zaz, that's the one, Victor Zaz.
Yes.
That was an interesting take on that. I thought both him and Black Mask were the best parts of the film.
Yeah, they were both great. One thing, I found the gore way more than I was expecting. I was not expecting to see someone's face get physically cut off and then removed.
Like, I get it's his thing, but that was interesting they went for it.
Yeah, I was just... we have not seen anything that intense in a DC film at all, and then suddenly here it is. Like, that was just... it was way more than I was expecting, or... like, I was not hoping for anything like that.
Yeah. Well, the film is also marketed everywhere, and nowhere does it seem to be saying it's MA. Like, it feels like a lot of people, because cinemas are stupid and they don't actually stop and check IDs and stuff, I feel like a lot of young people are going to see this. Because it's got Harley Quinn, and it's bright and vibrant, and, like, nowhere does it seem to be gory.
Yeah.
Or intense.
Yeah, it seems so playful.
Yeah, it was at that point that I remembered that it was rated R in the US.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. So I went in, I assumed it was like M or MA, but I was not expecting someone's face to get cut off and to see all of that, and I was like kind of cringing, and my stomach was kind of falling out because I'm like, I don't like seeing stuff that close up. It was almost like a horror film.
It was rather intense, but it's also like one of the only moments of that as well. Like, there's nothing ever stoops to, not that it's a bad thing, but it never stoops to that level again.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
Strange.
But yeah, that was just very confronting. Victor Zsasz doing that. Yeah, like you said, both the bad guys, very, very good.
It was fun seeing Ewan McGregor just friggin' chew every scene he's in. Oh, my God.
He was so good and like so like bipolar.
Yeah.
My goodness. He's like having fun one moment and then he's like nearly crying the next. And then he's like laughing and giggling the next, and then he's angry and ripping a girl's clothes off and making her dance on a table in a club because he thinks that she's laughing at him.
Oh, what a villain.
I never expected to see Ewan McGregor be a bad guy.
You should see the two Trainspotting films. He's not a bad guy, but he's a bad guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because he's usually like in like love films and stuff, and yeah.
He's the hero. Yeah. So that was cool. I despised how they got rid of him, and the fact that they got rid of him. That was stupid.
It was so weird.
That was just stupid.
Just chunks of Ewan McGregor flying into a river. Bizarre.
Yeah. It's like Marvel's finally worked out that keeping villains around is good for their universe. And then they go and just get rid of their first good villain in this film.
Yep.
Like, I'm looking at my DC... There's no other good villain in a DC film so far, in this DC universe. All of them have been just weak.
Yeah.
And then they do that.
And now we have a... maybe we'll get an Emancipation of Victor Zsasz film.
Fingers crossed. I'll take that.
Because he's at least around, because I think he got like stabbed or something, but he's not dead.
And maybe you could have Black Mask be like in a monologue thing, and then you can still have him in the movie.
Yeah. Someone else could take on the mantle, but they just have to get a good actor.
Or you just de-age him in the Matt Reeves Batman movies. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
It was cool to see him in the mask as well. I tried to stay away from a lot of the promo stuff, so that was cool. I was wondering if they would even do it, but the mask was sick.
Looked great. Yeah. Very, very good costuming.
But speaking of like, oh cool, they did the thing, the whole world, obviously a little bit stylized and stuff, but generally feels like a real place. But then they go to the theme park and it's like, oh shit, yeah, Gotham. This is totally Gotham. It's all smoke and dark.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, suddenly it felt like a Tim Burton film, and I went, you can't just do that. This has not been where we were for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, we've been in New York, right? Like,
and then they're like, oh, she's like, I know a place, and then she hops on over to 1989 Batman. It's like, what the hell just happened? But that was cool, and I think important to talk about the fact, without spoiling anything of the show, how much this feels like a kind of either reboot or respin of the current animated Harley Quinn show. There's so many little elements that I'm like, holy shit, it's just that show.
It really is. The whole idea of her, like, breaking up with the Joker, her finding the baseball bat and being like, that's just, that is almost the exact moment if they had, like, a little sound bite, like when she picked it up and stuff like that. It would have been the same film almost.
And just her blowing up Ace Chemicals is basically her blowing up the Joker Park and all the rest of it. Like, there's so many little bits. And almost her opening monologue, which was an animated sequence, which was awesome.
Yes! I forgot about that. That was a really cool thing. I would take a movie that looked like that.
I think also that was the point that I went, oh, this plot is very similar. Because it was animated. I was like, oh, hang on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also cool and sad for Leto, I guess, that they've basically visually rebranded the Joker to look like Mark Hamill comic book Joker.
With all the drawings and stuff around.
Yeah, like she draws a picture of the Joker and is using it as a dartboard, and it's very clearly comic Joker.
Yeah.
Like, it's very interesting. Although, you still get the back of his head in a shot or two.
Yes.
You know?
Someone's head.
Well, they deleted bits from Suicide Squad, so they did reuse some stuff from that. Although, yeah, the shot where she's falling towards it, they've removed him because he was like right behind her shoulder in the actual film. So they've actually gone to extents that they can get rid of him without it, looking like Carrie Fisher or something. But it'd be interesting to know if he comes back, like a Joker.
Yeah.
Like, where's this universe going now?
Yeah, it's because the Joker's huge. Like, we need... What are they going to do with Batman?
Yeah.
The Joker's big thing is Batman. I know he's got, like, such a big list of villains and stuff that they can use.
Yeah.
but he's also the Joker. Like,
it's just very interesting. Like, yeah, where is the Batman now? Because it's been not Ben Affleck, so...
Yeah, they're so messy.
Yeah.
Everything is so messy happening right now. And one thing, like, a lot of properties, if something's set in Gotham, there's a reason why Batman isn't there.
Yeah.
To stop what's happening.
Totally.
But Batman isn't here.
Just ever.
Like, and there's no explanation. There's nothing saying, oh yeah, like, Batman's been missing or anything like that. She says, Batman captured me at some point, threw me into Arkham. Now what? Where is he? Why isn't he? Like, his number one villain is broken up with his girlfriend who blew up an entire, like, compound.
Yeah.
There's, like, murderers out on the streets, like, trying to kill people. The police know about it. Where is Batman?
Where is Batman? Just
Like,
something.
Yeah, no explanation. Just tell us that he's not around. Tell us that he's doing something else.
Yeah.
What else? The visuals though, like, all right. One of the freaking I loved. Probably my favorite part. Your favorite part was the
roller skates.
Canary thingy. Mine would have to be. I know it was like all separated and stuff, but if you cut out a bunch of random cutaways, it's got to be the police precinct.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was just so much fun. Like that entire sequence in there where she's got a bazooka that fires like glitter and beanbags and colored smoke, and like she has 6 canisters and she only shoots that thing 6 times at different policemen, and then she has to like ditch that and find other weapons. So that's very well kind of like, it's good attention to detail.
And then she gets high and just goes like 16 times speed.
That was so freaking funny.
Oh my god, that was so. As she went towards the powder bag, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, as they're shooting it, I'm like, okay, they're shooting cocaine. There is cocaine everywhere, and then they just went all in.
That was so good.
Yeah, that whole sequence was just fantastic. Like, her going through that first part, her fighting everyone in prison, and then the thing in the evidence locker with all the other bad guys, like all the assassins trying to kill her and stuff.
Again, should have just been her movie. Like, it Birds of Prey stuff's fine, but literally if you removed it, the plot almost stays the same, because it's all about Cassandra Cain, really, and Harley Quinn, so not much really moves around. Yeah,
they could have just called it Harley Quinn and then introduced the Birds of Prey and then teased a Birds of Prey movie later. This wasn't a Birds of Prey film.
Yeah, no, the action of this film is great. The one thing I will say, and as I was watching it, I thought everyone's like made of paper. Everyone just gets kicked once and they're dead or like knocked out. Like the big black guy right at the end of that fight, I think gets kicked in the nuts and he's just down. He's completely out. Everyone is very, very easy to get rid of in this movie.
I think I've been noticing that more and more in just films in general. People get punched in the face once and they're out.
Yeah.
Or like they get kicked and they like in the back. They get kicked in the back, they fall on the ground and they're done. It's like, no, people get up.
It's not
like
life.
people can take a kick. Especially these guys, they're huge.
I'm fine if it's like Iron Man and stuff, but when it's like just street level things and just films that aren't superheroes, it's like, no.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what happens to the black guy. She throws a bat at the ground and then it like bounces back. It like ricochets off his balls.
Oh, that's so good.
Back into a hand. Oh, that was sick.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast, The Weekly Planet, and they were sort of saying in Suicide Squad, they're like, oh, we need to get Harley Quinn because she's like we just need her for this team because she's really helpful and stuff, but there's no explanation as to why. This film shows why.
Yeah.
Like, sure, sometimes she can't hold her own because she's super drunk, but when she does, man, she has full arsenals. That frickin' the bat throwing at the ground, knocking out a dude and catching it again.
Yeah.
Like, she knows what she's doing. She's so resourceful all the time. That is why they needed her in Suicide Squad, but there was no reason in Suicide Squad as to why.
I'm so glad we don't have to wait more than a year to see her in another DC film.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. When is that's next year, right?
Yeah. The Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad 2, but
no.
Yeah. No. Even though it is a sequel and there's lots of characters returning, it's the Suicide Squad.
So weird. Soft
Like-
reboot.
Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be called The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I hope so. James Gunn,
The
please.
Scooby-Doo.
The Scooby-Doo.
As we keep saying, there's a lot of weird things in this film, but I do think I do want to watch it again, because there's a lot of cool action sequences. The characters, when they interact and it goes well, it's really fun. But yeah, it doesn't hit the highs of, like, our favorite movies ever, but it does not hit the lows of Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
It never reaches that bottom pit.
Yeah. This is in the top tier of DC films.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely above certain Marvel films. Like, it's very fun.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard some people say it's the best DC film, and I am definitely disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it above, like, Shazam and Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
but it's up there, like maybe third.
Definitely, like, tying with Shazam, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like they both have similar issues.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
They've both got lots of lulls where it's like, okay, let's continue.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, no, it's so fun, and and critically it's doing well. So it's not like we're insane for saying this.
Yes.
That's probably it, right?
I think so. We should leave this in too.
Yeah, no, I'll leave all this in.
Yeah, good, yeah.
But that's our thoughts on Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipations of one Harley Quinn, or as it's known now, maybe Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Who knows? Who knows what the hell is happening with this film?
Yeah.
The things outside of the movie are as confusing as some of the things inside the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's so weird.
But one thing that is certain is that we have a YouTube channel called Each to Their Own. You can go subscribe to it if you're not already subscribed, and if you're not already listening to it right now, because you might be over on Spotify. But if you're on YouTube right now, you can also go over to Spotify and subscribe to this podcast. I got turned into, like, Jeff Goldblum.
That was so convoluted, that whole thing. Very good. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/each to their own. Jump on there if you so desire, and if you have any money. As we haven't said for quite a while, please look after yourself first, but it always helps. It helps us improve all of our gear. We both have like green screens and stuff now to make better YouTube videos. I'm looking into buying a new microphone because the one I have has some problems. Yeah, every little bit counts, and everyone on the frickin' Discord is fantastic, and Will and I cannot keep up for the life of us. It's taken on a life of its own.
You guys having your own conversations, it's fine.
Yeah, it's great. And I got a lovely little message from Emmy yesterday, which I replied to today, and she's currently messaging me as we speak. Just checking in on me, just asking if I'm okay. It's really lovely. Everyone there is just fantastic. It's just a really cool little community that has something for everyone, I feel now. There are so many channels on there.
Many channels.
So just mute the ones you don't want.
Yeah.
Follow the ones you do. It's great. It's so great in there.
It's good fun. If you got nothing else to do, just chat. There's always someone there.
Just have a little chat.
Just
have a little chatty chat. Like we have.
Like we just did. So yes, if you want to check out more of our videos, they're over on YouTube. They're not on Spotify.
Correct.
It was very pointed and jaded to just... you idiot. What are you doing on Spotify if you want to watch a video?
Oh, what are you doing, mate? Mate,
You're
what's
doing
up?
Silly sausage.
Speaking of sausage, I'm going to go have dinner.
It's 9:41 p.m. Right now. So
It is. Like, I got home at like 8:30 because I've been working overtime, so...
That's true. There's been working 9 to more than 5.
Working 9 to 7:25.
Oh, shit.
Or 8:30, actually, till 7:25.
I have been Will.
And I have been Josh.
Hopefully it'll be next week. Hopefully we will be next week. We will be the entirety of Sunday through to Saturday. Hopefully next week we'll be chatting about Sonic the Hedgehog, the film.
Sonic, I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I've got my ticks. I'm very ready. So we'll see you well, you'll hear us next week.
You will.
We won't see you. Because that's not how friggin' Spotify works.
Correct. But I have a video coming very soon on Superliminal. I'm going to edit it for next week. It's going to be out.
Alright, we're done.
Promise.